Let me tell you about the wildest pilot you probably never heard of. Barry Seal, a teenage flying prodigy, commercial airline captain, drug smuggler for the Medellin Cartel, and then a DEA informant. Yeah, it started with CIA planes, cartel connections, government secrets, and one very public assassination. This is the insane true story of Barry Seal, the man who tried to play both sides of the drug war and paid the ultimate price. Barry Seal was born to fly. Literally by 17, he had his pilot certificate. People called him naturally gifted. In 1962, he joined the Louisiana Army National Guard, trained with the elite 20th Special Forces Group, and graduated from U.S. Airborne School. Then in 1964, Barry joined the TWA, one of the biggest airlines at the time. He worked his way up to captain, flying Boeing 707s like it was second nature. But underneath the polished pilot persona, Barry had a taste for danger and money. In 1972, Barry was arrested for trying to smuggle plastic explosives to Mexico. To beat the charges, barely, but his clean image gone. By 1976, he was smuggling marijuana. By 78, cocaine, but not just a little. After getting arrested in Honduras, Barry made connections that would change his life. Emil Camp, a fellow smuggler from Louisiana, and William Roger Seal, who introduced Barry to the Medellin cartel. How he was in deep, flying low altitude smuggling missions, dropping drugs into remote areas of Louisiana where they were picked up by cartel distributors. He even hired his ex-brother-in-law William Bottoms as his main pilot. By 1982, Barry had a dozen planes running and the feds were watching, so he moved his operation to Mena Intermountain Airport in Arkansas, where his aircraft could be modified for long hauls and stealth flying. He wasn't just flying under the radar. He was the radar. 1981, undercover DEA agent met with Barry, another guys moving 1,200 pounds of counterfeit Quaaludes. His sting was part of Operation Screamer, and it led to the indictment of over 80 pilots, including Barry. In April 1983, he surrendered. He tried cutting deals with federal task forces in Florida and Baton Rouge, but they both said no. By February 1984, he was convicted on all counts, facing 10 years behind bars. Barry made a last-ditch call to the DEA's South Florida Task Force, and this time they answered. On March 28, 1984, Barry Seal became a federal informant. His mission: get inside the Medellin cartel again and gather evidence. He flew a CIA-modified C-123K loaded with hidden cameras into Medellin. On April 8, 1984, he did the unthinkable. He photographed Pablo Escobar and other cartel leaders loading cocaine onto a plane. It was the first hard proof that the Nicaraguan government was involved in drug trafficking. Seal returned to Florida. The DA staged a fake accident to protect him, but one of the couriers got arrested and suspicion spread. Then the hammer dropped. On July 17, 1948, the Washington Times published a front-page article exposing Barry Seal as a DA informant. The leak, still a mystery. Some suspect it came from within the White House itself. With the damage done, Barry's cover was blown. The entire operation to catch the cartel leaders collapsed. That same day, the DEA did manage to arrest a top cartel figure in Miami. It was the first time Pablo Escobar and the Ochoa brothers were named in a U.S. drug trafficking indictment. But Barry, he was now a walking target. Even after being exposed, Barry continued working cases for the feds. He helped bust another major shipment coming through Bolivia, Colombia, Texas, and finally Las Vegas. He even assisted in the takedown of Norman Saunders, chief minister of Turks and Caicos. But his time was running out. In early 1986, Louisiana judge sentenced him to probation, but with strict conditions: no weapons, no bodyguards. He couldn't even leave Baton Rouge without permission. And worst of all, he had to spend every night at a Salvation Army halfway house. Barry Seal, a man with $1 million bounty on his head, was forced to sleep alone, protected in a public building. February 19, 1986, Barry Seal pulled up to the halfway house. 3 Colombian hitmen were waiting. They shot him 6 times with a Mag-10 submachine gun. He died instantly. 6 Colombians were arrested. 3 were convicted of murder and sentenced to life. The Medellin cartel had silenced one of the biggest threats to their empire. Barry Seal wasn't a hero. He wasn't a villain. He was something more dangerous. He was unpredictable. A man who got in too deep, played too many sides, and thought he could outfly everyone chasing him. In the end, even the sky couldn't save him.